Hello and welcome to another ARCHLine.XP 2021 webinar. My name is Zoltán Tóth. I'll be your host today to talk about the latest features that we have in plan. Now, if you joined us last week, then you have already had a sneak peek of the new features that ARCHLine.XP 2021 has to offer. Here's a quick reminder. We talked about a revamped way of creating sections and elevations with textures. We also talked about how to use filters to sort of filter down your 2D and 3D content of your models. We also discussed IFC classification, and there were a few new tips and tricks about how to create wall elevations, especially if you have furniture pieces, cabinetry. This is a very important feature. Now, today we are going to continue our discussion with the new features. Namely, we are going to look at four. First, my colleague Iles will talk about how to link external files to your model, so how linking files works. Then we talk about LOD, level of development or level of detail, whichever you like to call it. And then we talk about print queues, how they are handled in ARCHLine.XP 2021. There's also a new feature coming up regarding how to apply installation layers to beams and columns. And lastly, but not least, we discuss a feature which is able to filter and show a priority in your 2D data. So if you have many things on top of each other on your floor plan, then you can easily filter what you want to see. And now I'm going to give the word over to Iles, and he's going to show you all the new things we have in the works.
Linking external sources into your design is extremely useful when you're collaborating with other designers. And in my example, I will show you two separate situations. At first, I will show you a situation when I'm collaborating with a co-designer who is an architect and who is developing on the same project, who is developing this other part of this land, this location, which is quite empty at my drawing now. And all I'm interested in design is to develop this part of the project, but I would like to also see what he created and its full 3D glory with all the levels and everything else. So I would like to insert it into my project, and I would like to be able to track the changes that he makes on his design. So I will be able to make adjustments on my project as well if I realize something has changed. So to be able to do that, I need to use the file, and there's this command called link. And as you can see, you have an option to either use CAD files, IFC files, and Revit files. Now, for a fact, I know that what I have is an IFC file, so I just click on this one, and I will open up the IFC file that he has created for me. But before I do that, let me just show you the content of that. I actually have Beam Viewer, an IFC file viewer, which I will open up. So you can see that this is actually the content of that IFC file. It's pretty simple yet. It's just in a conceptual phase, but I will be also already able to link it into the project. And once this file is changed, I will be able to track those changes. So let me just minimize that and open it up. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just opening this file up, and then now I have two options. If this thing is some sort of an object, or I'm not interested in the levels of it, on the floors of the floor structure of this IFC file, I'm going to go with the first option. But now I would like to open the IFC file, importing all the floors and everything else, and then now I can see that I have the floors on the left hand side. This is the floor system of my project, and because we synchronized that together, he is also working on the same thing, and he actually saved his project with the same IFC floor structures with all the same naming and all the same height. So this is what I can see. If I would like to, with this up and down button, I'm able to make a match between what is the first floor of my design and what is the first floor of his design. But I actually don't want to do that, so I'm just going to make sure that what is the ground floor in my project is the ground floor in his project. So this is what I'm going to do, and now I'm clicking OK and see what happens. Now in the next step, the software reads the content of his project, his IFC file, and then it is reading the content, and it shows me the option to place this project into the proper position. Now, if we would not synchronize the origin to the same location in the world, I would use manual placement. But because we did that, we are working in the same location, I will just use the automatic positioning and see if that works out well. And now I can see the content on the 2D. And if I jump from one floor to the other, up and down, I can see it's neatly organized, the proper floors with all the content. And I can also see the whole model in the 3D. I actually do not have the option to change any of those items because that belongs to another file and I do not have the rights to modify it. Those are just read as supporting actors of this design. But whenever there is a change in this design, let me just kind of look around and see how it looks like now. So now I have a nice overview of this land. And as a fact, I know that he will further develop this conceptual model, adding up a little bit more of the details and also extend it with a few more building parts. So this is what actually I have in another screen, so I can show you that this is how it will look like. This is how the project has changed by the time. And now I would like to synchronize those changes into my project, and this is actually what linking is good for. Now I'm able to update this content. So for being able to do that, all I need to do is to go to the file and link, and there's this manage links option, so I'm clicking on this one. And then I can see that there is this one specific single reference of this building, which I have quite a few options to work with. But now what I'm interested in is that I need to reload it. So whatever has changed, I would like to reread it into the project and I will be able to see the changes. So I'm clicking on reload. It tells me that the status is now reload. So once I hit OK, it will reload the content again. And I have the option to change whatever I have chosen before. I'm not going to do that, so I'm keeping this option. And I also keep the same floor structure, so the two floors are matching, so I'm not changing anything with that. And I'm just hitting OK and see what the result will be. After a short while, I can see that this reference has changed, updated with the latest changes. And then I can reflect those changes if I need to in my design, or I can just make something that connects the two buildings or something like that. So really, this is very useful when we are working together. Perhaps someone else is developing the park here in a separate file and so on. So we can link our drawings into each other's projects using several different formats and update that content. In this example, I would like to focus on the collaboration between two different professions. As an architect, I'm designing this level, but I'm working together with an MEP designer, and he's actually created quite a few of the HVAC system in this building based on my design. And now I would like to import that and link it into the project. So as he develops this further, as he adds more details and he further creates additional parts of the system, I will be able to visualize that and reflect those changes perhaps in the architectural system. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the IFC file that I've got from the MEP designer. I'm just going to the link IFC, and then I'm going to open up the IFC file that I've gotten from the designer, and this is called the MEP00 IFC. So I'm opening it up, and again, I'm interested in the details, but I could choose going with the by placing it as an object. I'm just going to go with the keeping the floor structure, and then again, we are actually working on a synchronized project. So we discussed where the different levels should be and how they are aligned. So this makes it sure that what he created will fall into the proper place in 3D in my design. So I'm just keeping those synchronized. I mean, this floor should match the other floor in the IFC file. I'm just going to go with OK, and then I'm reading the file and placing the content here. I have again two options. I can either manually place it here or I can just go with the automatic positioning. I'm choosing the first one now, and then the MEP system, the HVAC system, appears here with all the details with the piping and so on. So as I develop this design further, we discuss quite a few with the other professions, and they also make changes, adjustments in their design. So if they give me the latest version, or they upload it someplace and I can download this IFC file with the latest changes, I can read it into this project. So let me show you what was changed after the first steps. Now actually this design was a little bit further detailed with a little bit more details. As you can see, there are a little bit more of these items, a little bit longer piping, a little bit more of the details for the air suction and air cleaning system and so on. So this is how it changed. It was extended, enriched a little bit, and this is also what I would like to read here. So being able to do that, I'm going to use the file link and manage links again to open up the link list. And here we go. We can see that there is this link of the MEP design here. This is represented as one row here with the path of the original file. So if I've overwritten the original file with the new one that has changed, that I just received from the designer, then I can just simply click on reload and then hit OK to see the changes. Now again, I have an option to change whatever I have chosen originally, but I'm still going to go with the second option. And then I'm going to keep the same floor alignment. And then now we can easily tell that there is a change in the system. So now if my architectural structure should respond to those changes, I perhaps need to move a few of those partition walls, I need to add or change the window sizes and so on. Then now I'm being able to do that, and seeing those changes will help me a lot to be able to reflect to those changes. LOD, or level of development or level of detail, is the keyword if you would like to represent your model or your whole project in different level of details. Literally, I mean, sometimes you don't want to see that much of detail, sometimes you would like to make everything visible with all the latest of the details. So this is what you can easily control by using the LOD settings in the software. By default, you can see LOD levels readily selectable from this list as LOD 100, 200 and so on up to LOD 400. And the default setting in ARCHLine when you start designing is LOD 350, as you can see it here. Now this is good for all the planning design, the details and everything that you would like to see and create intersections, detailed drawings, situation plans, detailed construction plans and so on. So this is the default setting. And if you would like to, you can represent this very model, this same model, using the different level settings, and also you can control those LOD settings using this little option here. Now, as you can see, there are default settings that you can either check or even control going through these details, and there is a little help here which describes what happens if you change your model to LOD 100 or any of those settings. So that if I would like to represent this model instead of this very detailed version in LOD 100, I can go with the default settings, and it tells me that this is the conceptual model, as we will see soon. When there are things represented but not necessarily as accurate as they are really literally in the 3D space, perhaps they are only volumes and some items are also missing. To see that how that goes, the software actually tells you that with this default setting, in my specific case here, which I customized for myself, is the walls are coarse, the slab are also not that detailed, the roofs are not detailed, ceilings are not appearing. I mean, those are the suspended ceilings and other additional items, not just the slabs above the buildings. Openings are absolutely not represented. Stairs, ramps are not represented. Objects, beams, columns are absolutely not represented. So this is what I will see when I hit OK. As you can see now, many of those details are missing. Just as I told that there are no doors and windows, only the voids, the holes, the openings are visible there. There's no street lights, I don't know, any sort of benches here on the street. There is no railing, nothing much of a fancy detail on this building. Really, literally just the structure and the rest of the building part. So if I would like to change this LOD 100 setting from LOD from the current setting to LOD 200, I can either go here, or I can again go back to the LOD settings and change this and check the settings and see what will be different here. For example, in LOD 200, in case of using LOD 200, there will be a difference with the openings, which will be not represented with detailed geometry, but with something that resembles the original shape. And also the stairs and ramps will be represented with a very simple structure. Objects, beams, columns are only represented with bounding boxes, and so on. So that is a different setting. So when I hit OK, we will see that result appearing. So as you remember, I talked about the window and door representation. Those are very coarse. I cannot see any details. I cannot even see all the the divisions and anything else, not even the frame with very much of the detail, but I can see that indeed there is a door and a window and so on. So this is a very visible change here, but the rest is still very simple. There I cannot see the details. I cannot see the connection between the structures. I mean the proper connection, they are connected, but there is no detail of the layers and so on. So if I would like to go up and above 200, I can select LOD 300 and the software will generate more details and provide me with more details, which already contains a lot of the details for the windows and the doors with all the framing, the glazing, and I can also see the railing because in this setting, if I can check that here, I go back to the LOD settings and I can check that it's now everything, even the walls and the slabs and the roofs are in medium settings, medium detailed. With not all the details that I've designed inside them, but many of those are already represented there. Ceilings are appearing in medium details, and the openings geometry is there. It's definitely there. We can see the all the divisions and the framing and everything else. And objects, beams, and columns, and the rest of the model is as detailed as it should be at LOD 300. Now, LOD 350 was the default, so I'm just going to go back to that, and you will see how those joints between the structure will be automatically fixed, because then the structure will be detailed with the levels and the layers as well. So as you can see now, we have this rich model with all the details that I have originally done here with this model, with all the proper structure connections, with the details all around, with the benches and even with the surrounding, some of the objects that decorate the street or the building, and also details with the rafters and beams and everything else inside the roof structure and so on. So this is what you can easily do by switching between LOD 100, 200, 300 and the rest of the settings, and represent your model during work to be able to focus on what's important and what's important at that design level what you're working with. And this is also what controls how you can communicate with the third-party users that are using different software when you export your model. So once again, you can go here and you can customize the LOD settings. There's a little help here, and also you can define which floors you would like to see and what element types you would like to filter out, not being able to see at all. So this is like an extra step that you can set up here. And also you will easily see what the details are for any of those main item types. And also you can not just check what is the setting, but you can also change them to something else, like I don't know, if your country defines different rules, or your company defines different rules, specific rules for any of those, and you can refine these settings. So this is how it goes. You can just select those, you can customize those, or you can just go with the default settings and just completely switching between those depending on what you actually need. When you're working with project files, then sooner or later you will end up with several pages of content that you would like to publish. Those are what we call plot layouts. Now, plot layouts could have one large page and with several content assembled on it, which I've prepared here. Like it's called large plot layout. It's for perhaps for a poster or larger print. And I also assembled something called the pages of this layout. And these are 6 pages assembled here for the purpose of creating a multiple page PDF. This is what I would like to publish from this one. That's just the 2D and that's the 3D. So I'm going to show you how this was assembled. It's just in the documentation, plot layout, prepare plot layout. This is where you can determine how many copies of pages and what sort of orientation and what sort of paper size you would like to use, and then the software can generate a whole bunch of pages that you can fill up with content. I added several different orientation and several different versions and sizes in various sizes. So this is what I will publish when I go to the file and print queue. So this is what I'm going to use today, the print queue. The print queue is a very simple dialog. Here you can just enable this create multiple pages PDF file option. And once you do that, you can click here and you can just define the PDF file, the location and the name of the PDF file that you would like to save later. And then also you can select the PDF format. This could be a regular PDF, level B, level A, 1B, 1A format. This is really important in some countries. So you can choose any of those. And then all you need to do is just to go there and click on this tiny icon and select the pages. I mean, all the pages, this is called pages here in the background. And I have assembled 6 pages here, and once I hit OK, the software will automatically add them. And that is an awesome thing because I didn't have to do anything. I already assembled all those pages and the software automatically recognized their content, their size. So I'm just going to go through all of these, and should I don't know, change any of those options, then I can still change those format, the printer name, the document name, and also go to the properties and change any of those settings for the final published version. And this is what I wanted to show you, that the software automatically recognized the page size and the page orientation. It automatically aligned the content to the center of this page, and it automatically set up the scale factor to 1:1. So all those things I didn't have to do manually. The software just automatically added any of those into this list. So when I hit OK, and then I go back to this list, all I need to do is just to click on print to publish this content into this 6-page PDF and watch the result. And this is the result in the Adobe Reader that I've installed on my computer. And this is the first page, second page, and so on. So I just scroll through all the different pages, and that's what I've got in literally a few seconds. So this is what most of the people don't want to spend more than 5 or 10 minutes, because it just, when you have a larger project with, I don't know, 50 and 100 pages, this could be a tremendous amount of time if you would have to assemble this manually one by one. But this could be shortened into a very, very short method, a very, very short time, when you just let the software automatically assemble this print list for yourself and then customize it probably if you would like to. When working with columns in ARCHLine, you have an option to add an extra coating of isolation or insulation on top of the surface of the column that you already have. Now, in this very simple example, I have one column made of concrete and another one made of steel, and I will show you how that works. Now, it's a very, very simple thing. All you need to do is just to select the column that you would like to add this insulation onto the surface of it, and then you can just click this option which tells you that you can apply an insulation. By default, the software will apply a 10 centimeter or 100 millimeter thick insulation, which you can easily customize. You can just change it to, I don't know, 50 or so, and then you can also change the insulation material. But by default, it's the material called thermal isolation here. And then you can just go to the libraries, or you can even create your own material defining a different one. And by default, this is how it works with a rectangular profile. And it's even more interesting perhaps how it works with a specific profile like an eye profile here. So if you select that and you do the same thing, you apply this setting to this item, and in case that did not appear, it's because perhaps the coating is too thick, and then you can just disable that, or you can just change the thickness to something else that will work with this one. So for example, in this case, I need to reduce the thickness to, I don't know, something of like 20 millimeters or 30 millimeters. And when I hit enter, now the software will add this extra layer of coating here. And still I have the option to decide what sort of surface I would like to see here outside this this item, but it's definitely coated with this this material that is the thermal isolation. So this could be of use for two different things. In case of items like internal items, having some sort of I don't know, a piping or something like that that needs to be protected with the thermal insulation inside the hollow tube or something like that, which is a column, then you can just apply that easily, you know, over a rectangular profile or a circular profile. Or if this is something of a fire protection that is kind of sprayed as a foam coating on the steel structure, then you can also use that setting with different defaults or perhaps different material settings. But actually this is how it goes. You just enable this option and then you decide the material and the thickness. In this example, I'm going to show you how you can represent objects in 2D with so-called 2D fills, and also how to represent them on top of each other as they are represented by nature in the 3D on top of each other. So let me just show you first one interesting function that is making it a whole lot easier than just selecting them one by one. There is an option that you can use here in the single object tools, and it is called the display 2D fills. Now with this one, you can easily select any of those objects, click on that, and the software will automatically apply a fill, a color fill on it. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the sofa, and I'm going to do the same thing with the lamp as well, and also with this little item here. So now what's going on here? So how does the software know what sort of color it should use? Now it's a very, very simple thing. Each and every object has a material, and that material has a base color, and that base color is chosen as the fill color automatically. It will work for the majority of your models, very likely, but in case it was somehow selected else, like for example in this case it really looks like the first material of this object was not the main dominant material but the legs, so in that case I can also customize it. And by the way, this is also the same option how you can not only customize the object but also change the 2D fill color. So what you need to do is that here you have this option to disable or enable the 2D fill, and also you have the option to change the color of that 2D fill. So this is what I'm going to use now. I'm going to change this background fill to something else, like perhaps I can use another tone of this one, or I can go to the RAL color table or any other color tables, and I can just go and try to select something that resembles the original color, which was, I think it was around slate gray or perhaps anthracite or graphite. I'm going to use this one, and then I hit OK, and I hit OK, then the software will represent this item with that specific fill. So this is what you can see here now. Now there is one another thing. If you change a fill of that object, like let me just go here and see. Now this has a quite interesting pattern, so I'm going to say that, well, I don't want to see the default one, but I'm going to change it to another tone. I don't know, something brighter or something darker. And then when I hit enter and hit OK, now I can see that it seems that the carpet is overlapping my my sofa, and the 2D at least. In the 3D nothing has changed. Now why is that? Now the reason to that is that whenever you place an item in the 2D, it will automatically get an automatic drawing order, which in case of the objects is always the bottommost. It's always number 8. You have a 7 or 8 level draw order system, and everything falls to the bottommost. Now, as both of them is at the bottommost level, now the software couldn't decide which one should be, at least with the 2D shape, which one should overlap the other one. So the latest changed overlap the other one. But you can control this easily. You can tell the software that this indeed is at level 8, the bottommost, but the other one should be at level 7, which is one level above the level 8. So now it seems to be correct. And then whenever you do the same thing with the coffee table or with this one, for example, because now it seems that this little rope or this pole of this lamp is fallen under the sofa. Now, what I need to do is just to elevate at least one level above this one, which was 7. So I need to go here and select number 6. So now this looks proper. And also here, just to make sure that whenever I change this, won't fall under the this other item, I will just simply go there and say that the 2D fill is enabled, and then the draw order should be at least number 7 above bottommost. Now, in case I do that, there might be another issue with the other unfilled objects as well, like these here, that they got overlap, because simply the same truth happens with all the rest of the objects. Now with this tiny spot lamp here, it also has, just as any other drawing item in ARCHLine, has a draw order. So to make sure that is always at the top, I should select topmost. So whatever I place it under, and the same thing I can do with all the rest of these lamps. So whatever I place under, they won't ever overlap the spot lamps, because they will be all on a lower level. So this is how it is. It is a very simple and very powerful tool to organize your drawing, make it easier to read for your clients and for yourself, also by extending this with other things, like, for example, let me just change the color of these supporting parts and use, for example, a dash line, for example here, and then hit OK. And then now my drawing, with a few clicks and using the 2D fills and using the drawing orders, it is much easier to read and much easier to understand, and this is what I will publish in the final drawing. So this is how easily you can reorganize the content like I did.
Thank you very much for this amazing demonstration on the new features of ARCHLine.XP 2021. Just to recap, for those of you who tuned in later on, what we saw today is how to link drawings, IFC, RVT, DWG drawings as external references. We looked at LOD, level of detail or level of development, and we discussed the print queue. There was a certain part about the insulation for beams and columns. And lastly, we discussed how to control how your 2D content appears. And this is not the end of the story, because next week, we are going to, 2 weeks from now, on the 18th of November, we are going to have the third part of the ARCHLine.XP 2021 feature highlights show series. The things that we are planning to talk about are how to integrate JavaScript into ARCHLine.XP. That's an important topic for external developers. We discuss conceptual mass models, so how to use building volumes and how to turn them into actual architectural content. We discuss a new feature called push-pull, very familiar for 3D modelers already. This is used for 3D conceptual modeling. Amazing stuff, you'll see. And we discuss dynamic share categories in Design Center. So if you have content on your computer that you're using and you want to share it with others working for your company, then we are going to show you how that's done. So join in 2 weeks on the 18th of November in order to get a better glimpse at what ARCHLine.XP 2021 has to offer. I know that you are going to ask that. The 2021 version is going to come as a released program in March, but we are going to have a beta version this December, so stay tuned for the latest topics. Visit our website, and if you like the show today that we did, then give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss any of the similar shows. See you in